Hey, Maria, back with another video. It's 5:32 p.m. It is September 22nd, and it's a beautiful day outside. It really is, and it's not that hot either. So I'm sitting here waiting around for my son to come. He's coming around after 6 or so to take me to the dollar store, which I need to get some paper towels, and even though it's not the biggest trip in the world, at least it's getting out of the house. So anyway, as usual on Saturdays, I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs and like, okay, what am I supposed to do? This is extremely boring. I would have never imagined my life being so boring, seriously. I think the DS kind of forces you inside because, you deal with things on the outside. I have to say things have gotten a lot better socially, but aside from that, before that, it was very strange. I mean, people were just downright evil. And so then you stop doing any activities that you ever had. The only activity I really did do, and really I would go to a little shop every once in a while and participate in some of the activities. I haven't done that in the last 4 years. And that was just only something once in a while. So most of the time it was just I had nothing to do. So that wiped out the only activity that I did have. And now I'm just sitting here like, okay. So yeah, targeting and all this sort of stuff, it forces you inside. And then you're looking for work and this kind of shit happens. So I'm just like, okay, this is, boring. It is extremely boring for me. And I wish that the targeting never happened. I'm the kind of person, I believe in keeping confidential issues relating to work confidential, and that's the way it's supposed to be. And for good reason, because it protects you and it also protects the reputation of the company. And this is something I fully believe in. But when I left the farmer's place after this happened, I kept thinking, okay, things are going to get better. They just continued to get worse after leaving the farmer's place. And, I had left on a confidentiality contract, which I had mentioned before. And I kept thinking, okay, well, but weird stuff was going on around town. Like I had mentioned that when I would work a job, people were bringing up issues that related to over at the farmer's place. And I kept thinking, how in the world do people are these people involved? How do they know? And so I realized that somebody had sprung a leak somewhere. Anyway, so I wasn't happy about that. But I kept thinking, but I noticed that when I would look for work, I was constantly, encountering weird people at the job interviews, and I would have weird phone calls. So this is all a part of when I started realizing I was a target. And because when you are a target, obviously confidentiality is not being upheld by the employer, and it is destroying your life, it's destroying your reputation, it's destroying everything in everything that you can possibly imagine. So it was with great consideration that I had decided to start making the videos in 2015. Okay, this was in the early stages before I knew exactly who was involved. So I'm the kind of person, I can hold a secret. I can deal with confidential files. I can talk about, people can tell me certain things at work, and I'm not going to share it with anyone. But this issue is a completely different issue because I have been affected tremendously. And had I not said anything, it would have been worse. The thing is that what you're dealing with in this situation is you're dealing with a lot of people who don't really know you that well. So when I talk about my previous boss in Chatsworth area, she doesn't know me very well. All she does is she probably observes me through, things like Facebook, which we all know Facebook has nothing to do with my real life, and other people who are involved who I haven't seen in a long time who really don't know me either. So it's like this distant observation. Like, I can't tell about anybody if I just saw the picture of them or I see them in certain places in certain situations, okay? So they don't really know me. They don't know my likes, my dislikes, or whatever. So there's a lot of dehumanization involved in it, meaning they don't really consider your needs at all. So they kind of do things and like arrange you into certain situations and places and situations that you would never ask for. And it has a negative effect because usually the issue with these people is that it's centered around some sort of preconceived idea. The preconceived idea, maybe they think that, I was running around with the cute guy or whatever before I had even knew that he was even involved, and whatever. So there's a lot of preconceived ideas that these people believe about you, and they are starting to do things without your consent, without your knowledge, and it's like this really strange miscommunication that really shouldn't be taking place anyway, because when you leave a place of employment, you leave that person. Some people continue that relationship. They might drive their old boss an email every once in a while. They might, touch base in different ways, but I never did. I wanted to get on with my life, and then you find out that, hey, these people are still clinging to you, and it's like, okay, great. I would have never, allowed for something like that to happen, and I have the right to contest it. So my life has been, the quality of my life has been severely affected. And it's a very depressing situation to be in. It really is. I mean, I would never imagine that my life would be like this. And so it's hard on me, especially on Saturdays. So when you look forward to going to a trip to the dollar store, that's how sad your life has become, okay? I mean, the dollar store to me is kind of a necessary thing for people who get household items and stuff like that. There is something you have to do, but just getting out of the house is just something like, you can't miss that. You have to do it because it's just become so boring and miserable sitting here at the house. But, I don't know. I was thinking a few days ago as to how this whole thing got started. Obviously, it started with the Facebook issue many years ago. But I'm wondering, did somebody from the outside contact my ex-boss, or did my ex-boss, look me up on Facebook and start talking to the people that I used to know, and then this whole thing happened. Doesn't matter who did what. It's just that it's an improper professional relationship that I shouldn't be having, And I have the right to say I don't want. I want to extricate myself from this so-called weird bondage that I'm dealing with. So I'm doing the best I can to take the necessary steps. Another part of the dehumanization is when you acknowledge that you're in this little entourage that you had no idea that you belonged to, and you say, could you please leave me alone, and they continue to do it and continue to cling to you. That is a violation of my rights, and just shows you how insensitive these people are, Okay, so let's just assume that the cute guy is a part of this entourage, which I fully believe that he is at this point. And I'm very glad that he is, okay? Not that I'm glad that he's associated with my employers, because I'm not happy about that part at all, okay? But, I'm very glad that cute guy is out there somewhere. But, maybe they're excited because I'm supposed to be with the cute guy, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. But we don't need, if that's the case, we don't need this entourage. And it's not that I don't want to have, friendships with other people. It's just that there's too much negativity that's associated with the people that I used to work with. No fault of my own, mind you, but there's too much negativity associated with these people. So I would prefer not to have that. Also, the fact that, my ex-boss had this strange fascination with me as to where she was trying to impose her desires and her taste and likes on me. It would be very uncomfortable for me to be in a relationship with somebody who is somehow heeding her direction. Because oftentimes people get into relationships where they are in the spouse or the mate is kind of a perp, meaning that they are, negotiating with this particular ex-employer or the original perpetrators or whatever. And so you're bringing this person, it's an extension of this person coming into your home. And that's something I don't want. So it's like, it's time to break ties with all these people. I don't want my bosses involved in my life, my relationships or anything like that. So, hopefully the cute guy will make his way around. I mean, the door's always open to him, and I certainly do like him. I just wish this wasn't a work issue. I don't like to combine the two, and for good reason. I just want to get on with my life, and the sooner that I can, the better I'll be. It's been a very long time that that I've been dealing with this, and it's been a very painful situation for me. A lot of confusion, a lot of depression, a lot of fear and anxiety, and for something that really should have never happened in the first place. So, I get upset with that. So anyway, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say. And it's pretty much the same stuff, just different wording. Sometimes I'm bringing up new stuff, but it's still relating to the same topic. I do notice that there's sometimes I'll say something that, obviously, when I speak the truth, I end up losing subscribers. And when I lose subscribers, I know I must have really hit home. Something I said is making people feel guilty, okay? Because most of my people who are on my channel, who subscribe to it, are indeed perps, okay? Because really nobody could find the situation interesting unless, of course, they're a part of this, okay? Because I don't really talk about anything other than gang stalking. That's what the whole purpose of the creation of my channel, for this particular channel anyway. I'd like to talk about other things in the future, but I do it on one of my other channels. But anyway, you know, there's a lot of, I don't like to call them sore losers, but they throw you into a game that you never wanted to play. And because they're so into this game, when they find out that, you know, they're wrong to be in the game, especially when this was supposed to be some sort of weird contest to one-up me, and then they find out that they were wrong, then they don't want to hear it anymore. So they unsubscribe, which I think is interesting and confirmation of my fact and what I'm saying. So anyway, yeah, my weekends are really dull, and my weekdays are pretty dull, and I need to shake up my routine, and I'm doing everything I possibly can to do that. It's hard. It's been very, very hard on me. And, you know, when I think about, you know, the issues that, the fact that I disowned my family, the trauma, the abuse that I realized that was been going on for all these years, the fact that, you know, this ex-boss of mine is sitting here trying to literally make me her puppet, which is disturbing to me. Because, you know, I don't like people attaching themselves to me. I like to be able to do what I need to do. And then making them, or having my family members, whether that be my blood relations or Joel's family, have any say in my life. That's just not acceptable to me. You know what I mean? Now, if the cute guy wants to get together with me and he has certain ideas or certain things that he wants to talk about, that's something he and I need to talk about. It does not need to be done in an institution, like a, you know, a workplace or anything like that. And I don't want it to have anything to do with that, you know, and that's my right. And I'm the one who suffers for it, you know. Yeah, I'm not interested in the Karen thing or any of these people. I don't want it in my life. It's been causing me too much trouble, you know, and I want to be able to live my life the way that I need to live my life, based on what I need, not what other people think I need, okay? Because a lot of people have painted me out to be artistic. And that's one thing, you know, when you get close, when you get around people or people observe you, they start assuming things. Just because a person likes art doesn't mean they're a great artist, okay? I'm a mediocre artist, okay? I'm an arts and craft person. I'm not artistic. Well, they'll say things like, you know, well, you make your own clothes and you're insisting on having your own clothes, your own style, blah, 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 blah. So what? You know, there's a lot of people who have they're multi-talented people. Some people have certain talents, and that doesn't take away from the fact that they are really, you know, somebody who is more, I don't know what you want to call it, analytical. They could be analytical, and just because they have artistic abilities doesn't mean that they are full-blown artistic. I personally think that in my little perfect world, you know, that people would have the skills to do all kinds of different things that are not necessarily related to one another. You know what I mean? Just because you're an analytical person doesn't mean you can't like the arts. You know, and vice versa. It's just one thing. You enjoy life. You're supposed to be well-rounded. And this whole idea, I'm not into that whole idea, that whole weird thinking that people are either one or the other. People like to categorize people, you know, and I know that they do, okay? I know that they do. And unfortunately, even though they'll take a test, like I took a test over at some professional place, and it showed that I was an analytical person, that I was correctly fit for the kind of work that I do. Okay, not that I put a lot of faith in those sort of things, okay? But once again, these things are about categorization. They want to put you in a little box so they can understand you. The thing is that, yes, I proved to be the kind of person that is meant to do the kind of work that I'm doing. But I don't know if it's cognitive dissonance or some sort of whatever plot to redirect or whatever, they insist that I am, you know, I guess, you know, artistic or on the whatever kind of person. I personally think that women, like most women, it's ideal for them to have multiple talents. You know what I mean? I wish I could cook better, but to me, the ideal woman would be somebody who can cook, somebody who's good at analytical things. You know what I mean? To be able to use, you know, good judgment and quick wisdom. and somebody who, of course, analyze things was what I mean by that. Somebody who knows how to make clothes. I mean, I like to live the old-fashioned way, you know, if I could, okay? So it's not about putting people in categories, because I don't believe in those categories. I don't. There's a lot of people in this world that are one-dimensional. They only have one skill, and that's good for them, okay? But there are some people who have multi-skills, and they have multi-talents, okay? And just because they have a skill, and when I look at my art, I pick it apart, because I know that this is not true art. Because it's the kind of art that I wish I could do, I don't have the abilities to do. You know what I mean? I wish I could paint murals on the walls, and not cute little stuff like things that look like romper room, okay? Which is the stuff that I basically create, which is cute to a certain degree, but you have too much of it, it looks kind of strange. I wish I had the abilities to do, like, you know, strong artistic art expressions, like, you know how to work and blend paints properly, you know, and be able to draw and be able to paint, you know, wonderful scenes and stuff like that. I'm not able to do those things, you know. A lot of the designs that I make, like, you know, some of the prettier ones that I put on Facebook, which I'm sure this is where all this ideas of where I was artistic, I put out my best stuff on Facebook, okay? Like, I had some like little cash pouches that I made, which were very pretty. You know, they came out really nice, and I was very pleased with those, okay? But you're always going to show your best on Facebook, okay? So you put those things out there, and they're like, oh, she's autistic. No, those were some of my good pieces, okay? I really haven't devoted myself to that kind of stuff in a long time, because I really don't have any reason to. I'm not around people. I'm not giving these things away or whatever. So I'm not artistic, okay? Yes, I love clothes, okay? But you don't have to be within one category to enjoy clothes. And I figure, you know, the kind of clothes I like, if I want something or a certain pattern or design, well then, you know what, it makes sense to go out and make your own, because you're not going to find it in a store. And if you do find it in a store, it's probably going to be very high priced. I would like to say this though. I do realize that sewing is becoming a very expensive hobby. Okay, because when I was younger, I remember this girl that I used to know, and she was poor. Okay, and but she had these beautiful dresses, and this one particular dress I saw, and I kept thinking, that is a gorgeous dress. I mean, it was a very beautiful, wonderfully made dress. And I said, where did you get that? She said, oh, my mom made it. And I thought, damn, you know, and I knew that they were kind of poor. So a long time ago, you know, you could go to the fabric store and buy fabric, and it was, I guess maybe it must have been cheaper to buy or make clothes, okay? But now it's become like this huge, big hobby, you know, to where I'm like, damn, you know, it's better for me to go to a secondhand store and pick up a shirt or try to look for that or whatever than actually buy the fabric. But anyway, I'm getting off subject. But my point is that some people make clothes and stuff out of necessity. And then clothes are not a necessity. It's kind of like you have to wear clothes, okay? You can't walk around naked. But if you like a certain style, you know, and then you can't buy it, you know, you can't find it anywhere, or, you know, whatever, then you gotta make it yourself. And it's just something to me that you do. Like my dad to me, he was extremely analytical, but he also had artistic talents. Was he full-blown artistic? No. You know, I would say he could draw, and he could write wonderfully with either his left or his right hand, okay? And it was all beautiful. He had this, people thought his signature was written by a woman. That's how beautiful his signature was, okay? He could decorate the house. I remember every Christmas he would take just regular things, like, you know, he would go to the Hallmark store and buy a bunch of beautiful things and put it in the kitchen and the living room, and he did all kinds of wonderful things. He was extremely talented in that way. But when it came down to it, my dad, you know, he was a very smart person that was not artistic in that level. Like, he was, you know, he liked math a lot, and he liked science a lot, and those were his interests, you know, and has nothing to do with, you know, it's just somebody who has multiple gifts and talents. So, I don't know. I mean, I know people like to put people in categories a lot, you know, and it's there, I guess, maybe for social reasons, to where they think, oh, I want to be able to understand this person, but really, I don't think that's a good understanding. Because, you know, it's an attempt to try to understand someone. It's not necessarily something that's written in stone. I don't believe it. I really don't. You know, I know a lot of people who are multi-talented, and but yet they enjoy certain things, and they have stronger passions in one area than another. And so that's just pretty much how that goes. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video. I'm getting a little tired, and I just really wanted my son to come over and take me where I need to go, and then I come home and then settle down for the evening to go to bed. Okay, my life is extremely boring. I'm not happy with the whole ex-bosses tagging along and thinking stuff and then associating with people that I used to know. I'm not cool with that at all. Not at all. You know? Anyway. So, wrapping up this video, have a wonderful evening. This video getting close to evening. It's actually afternoon, but in about 9 more minutes, it will be officially the evening time. So, have a wonderful what's left of the weekend, and I'll be back with another one later.